Hey, what's going on, y'all? Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is the B&B podcast. I'm B, and before I begin this topic, I just wanted to just do a little breakdown with all the stuff going on within our nation. Regardless of you're a Biden supporter, regardless of you're a Trump supporter, we shouldn't be doing this, y'all. We shouldn't be raiding the Capitol based off something that we can't even control. This outcome, this election is all about, character, right? And people using that character to go into a place where it's supposed to be peaceful. It's supposed to be fair. That's what this nation is about. It's about fairness, right? It's about the freedom of choice. And the people who went to that capital and opposed that, they weren't for freedom. Now, I'm not saying that you don't have to let go of Trump any other way, but at the same time, remember who we are. Remember what we stand for. Remember what we're about. We're all peaceful. We're all family with this, right? So anyway, I hope y'all had a good holidays. I mean, it's 2021. Make sure you direct that positive energy into something that you want to work on. I know we do a lot of stocks and stuff. We talk about that. So just focus on your game, focus on a passion, and elevate yourself. That's what 2021 is about now. Using that energy to direct yourself. Energy, yeah. All right, seriously though. So let's talk about the Trump administration with this auction that they had on the refuge, right? So for people who don't know, the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge is in Alaska, right? So it's thousands of acres of reserved land for these native species like caribou, polar bears. They have a lot of migrations. Birds go there for their habitats. And the Trump administration wanted to lease these auctions out for drillers and oil companies to use the land, of course, to gain up those fossil fuel reserves. So I'm just going to break down my opinion about it. I don't know why I don't think it's logical for Trump to do that. First of all, more to my emotional side, I think that's a terrible idea. Speaking about how concerning that there's a species right now that's threatened by extinction, and that's a polar bear, right? Polar bears are really important for the food chain. They're the apex predator around the Arctic Circle. They control the amount of seals and stuff. I don't think it's right for Trump to, take a precious species away like that. And another thing too is oil. Oil, yes, it's a major market within our economy. It's needed. It's a necessity. But unfortunately for the world and for the United States, it's become a commodity, which means that you know it's going to be more in demand, but it's also decreasing. That supply and demand chart. You got to understand that to get it. But speaking about that, it's not going to do good for us, y'all. If we keep depending on oil, we keep depending on these reserves. Eventually, it's going to reserve up. It's just like gold, and then soon you're going to have another freaking epidemic when it comes to oil. People are trying to fight for oil, but they're not trying to. They don't realize the stakes that are coming. But to speak about that, I actually wanted to break down the renewable energy market, how that's playing out, because they actually estimate by 2030 that renewable energy will take over the United States. It'll take the energy market by storm. One, because it's becoming cheaper. Since oil is in more demand, they're going to try to raise that thing up because the supplies keep going low. There's less in demand solar, but there's a lot of it, which means it's going to be cheap. I think people should realize that when they're making these decisions. Another thing too, like B and I talked about many times before. We're good friends outside this podcast. We talk a lot about our viewpoints, but my viewpoint is renewable energy right now will be great for the job markets too. People don't realize that for the economy, because right now, it's upcoming. People are still trying to figure out what's the best solution. Is it solar power? Is it wind power? Is it electric power? Is it biodiesel? Is it geothermal energy? But at the same time, though, a lot of scientists and a lot of researchers put in their efforts and money into this game. And when you have these people researching this stuff, that means it's just going to go up. I mean, of course, there might be some drawbacks. There might be something that the funding might not be there, or the amount of effort that's going, because people are still scared. They're still not willing to change their minds. But to go on more on a simple view, I think that's important that we start actually making these changes. Because another fact, though, I'm going to say this, though. They say the United States has been great when lowering the not the quality of air, but what's the word? Lowering the greenhouse emissions in the atmosphere. They're like number one with clean air, but that's not the point, though. The point is there are other nations out there that are struggling with that. And the United States is one of the biggest enemies of our country, China. They're actually running the race right now with renewable energy. They're actually running a race with that greenhouse emission. They're claiming, they're on it. They're trying to get a lot of research in it. They're trying to put a lot of money in it. They're putting a lot of emphasis in it. I mean, of course, China's it's messed up because my bad, billions of people there. It's freaking tightly compact, which means that the air quality is not going to be good. Living condition, hygiene in general is not going to be good. So the amount of resources they have to, push out, it's not going to be good for them. But at least they're trying to make a change with that. And I think the United States should actually make more changes with that too. And hopefully with the Biden administration, they can do it smartly. Now we had conversations about the Green New Deal and stuff, but at the same time, though, it's going to cost more money if we don't do anything now and not try to put more money into something that's going to be long term. But going back to this refuge, though, I actually was doing a little more research right now. People are actually skeptical about it because the refuge is actually one of the most protected areas in the nation. Like these guys, oil companies and drillers, they refuse to pick a fight with these guys because they know a lot of environmental lawsuits are played in there. They know a lot of environmental groups are supporting the cause. And the fact that the Biden administration's in, it's going to make it harder for Trump to try to put those options down. But what he's trying to do, though, before Biden fully transitions, he's trying to either buy out the land, he's trying to get these companies to buy the land before Biden does, before he becomes in office. But there's actually speculation that if that's the case, that Biden's going to what's it called? He's going to try to buy that land. So therefore, it just goes back to normal. So normal refuge. People can go there to visit or whatever. The animals are protected. The indigenous tribes are protected because that's their way of life. That's their culture. And then you have something that's out of the blue, something that's not native to them, all of a sudden rush into this area and trying to take this precious, liquid that fuels hundreds and thousands of cars, stuff like. I get it. But remember, we got to think about these people's homes. They've been there longer than us, and we deserve to give them a chance of preserving their life. But another thing I also wanted to bring up too is actually with the oil companies. So I was actually surprised, speaking with my perspective, I'm kind of surprised that the oil companies didn't actually push this through. Like usually any type of oil, anywhere in the United States, they're going to try to push it. It's cheaper, the quality's a lot better. But with this, they actually there's barely any leasers. Like the big companies, they didn't want to do anything with it. I was reading about only 2 small companies that are willing to lease it out. That's good. I mean, I understand that I'm trying to think. I have a vivid imagination, but also try to think realistic. Yes, people are still going to buy it, but I'm glad that a lot of these big companies didn't assume control with it, because that means the destruction of the environment and then the purging of all those natural resources. But they're going more, try to understand what the situation is. Try to do some more research with it, because, like I said, a lot of people just don't get the scarcity of it. Yes, they think oil is it is the black gold and stuff, but it's no longer going to be gold. It's no longer going to live up to its reputation if we continue to exhaust it. But honestly, what I think they should do with Alaska when it comes to energy, actually, let me take that back. Um, Going back to what they should do, I think Alaska should actually try to focus more on renewable energy and stuff. It is pretty scarce though, but a lot of people actually they don't take this into fact. All right, so let's say that they don't do anything with renewable energy. Let's say they don't try to go for more green, right? Let's say in a hypothetical world that they try to continue with the oil race, they continue to try to buy these leases of land that have a lot of oil in them. So of course, scientifically that puts more greenhouse emissions and puts more polluted air into it, which causes the polar ice caps to melt, which causes those oil reserves in Russia to start cleansing away, to make it easier for them to get into their oil. And look what you have now. Russia and the United States, they're the two biggest superpowers on the planet, always clashing with each other, and now they have oil. I mean, they always had oil, but now they have a surplus of it. So what do you think that's going to do to us, right? What do you think that's going to happen? What do you think is going to happen to them when they get that oil? And I'm trying to be logical, right? Because actually, let me moment of silence. I'm gonna give y'all 5 seconds. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So think about it, right? That's a dangerous game that we're playing. I don't think a lot of people realize that too, because that means their freaking oil market is going to go tremendously. Now other countries don't have to rely on Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, those Middle Eastern countries to buy their oil. Now they can go to Russia like, hey, we want to strike a deal, which means they can form new alliances, new partnerships, more opportunities. People are going to be optimistic about it. They're going to try to strike with opportunities. So what do you think that's going to do? What do you think that's going to happen to our economy too? I want y'all to think about that. But anyway, that's what I got to say about the Trump auction with this refuge. Me personally, to wrap it up, I think it's important that we preserve that area. It's it's home to one of the most diverse not environments, ecosystems on the planet, and I think we should give that to the animals. We should give it to the native communities. We should give it to the world, and we need to recognize its significance. If we don't decide to act, we don't try to preserve it. But hey, listen, y'all. I want y'all to thank y'all for your support recently with this podcast. We're still trying to get it up. We support everything that y'all do. Freaking B&B podcast and now on Anchor to include Spotify, Google Podcasts, podcast chats, and then what's the other one? Damn, I forgot, low-key. But more information is on our Instagram page and our YouTube. We're going to try to get these videos rolling, and we're going to try to have an exciting 2021 with y'all. I hope y'all are safe. Make sure y'all like and subscribe. Please feel free to any content that you want to embrace, anything that you want to let us know, anything that you think that we're doing wrong, anything that you might have. We're open-minded here. You might have a great idea and you want to try to emphasize that onto us. Please educate us. It's not a closed-minded arena with us. We're trying to get open venues. We're trying to network more because we're passionate about this, y'all. But hey, hope y'all are having a wonderful 2021, and we hope to see y'all soon. Peace.